Adverbs presents Fun with Writing. I'm John Hadaway. Okay, so today what we're going to go over is what I like to tell people is my favorite sentence. The cat sat on the mat. And what we can see up here on the whiteboard is cat, sat, mat. And one of the first things we're going to do is identify the parts of speech. So, cat is a noun, sat is a verb, and mat is a noun. But, equally importantly, if we were to turn this into a sentence, then we have to have a subject, verb, and an object. And so, our subject of the sentence is going to be cat. Okay. Our verb or action is going to be sat, and then the object is mat. So, whatever the cat is doing, it is being done here. So this is an object. This is what is being done to or on. Okay. So, the first thing that we do, and in looking at this in one of the first worksheets that you can work on, is the cat sat on the mat. Great. Okay, so this is my favorite sentence, and really it's my favorite sentence in terms of it being a simple sentence. And so what we have, and we will go back to colors, is our subject, which is the cat, our verb, which is still sat, and our object, which is the mat. Okay, so what we're saying here is the cat sat on the mat. Okay, and everything is paired up. Sat on is going to be our pairing there. The mat is going to be our object pairing, and then the cat. What this tells us, as we're looking at it, is that a specific cat did this particular action on a specific mat. Okay? So when we say specific, what the and the here tells us is that, and these are articles, okay? So what the article tells us is that there's only one cat and there's only one mat. And the cat sat on that one mat. What makes this a really great sentence, though, isn't that the cat sat on the mat or that it's my favorite sentence, but that it is a really good object sentence. What the cat sat mat exercise does is it first lets us see how sentences work, how they operate, and then it allows us to begin embellishing and expanding the sentence into something a lot more. As we move forward, I'm going to clear the board, and what I'll end up doing is erasing what's up here and then rewriting the cat sat on the map. From there, we're going to add adjectives and adverbs as embellishments or additions to this that further modify or clarify both the nouns and the verb. Now, when I say adjective and adverb and modify or clarify, I'm not using a textbook definition. I'm not going out and looking at Merriam-Webster and finding out what they're saying. I'm not going to, a high school teacher that teaches this all day long. What I'm doing is I'm pulling from the way I want you to think about this, and I'm then asking you to think about it this way. So, an adjective is any word that modifies a noun, and an adverb is any word or phrase that modifies a verb. So, adjective, any word or phrase modifies a noun. Adverb, any word or phrase that modifies a verb. Okay. When we're doing this, we're going to return to the cat sat on the mat. And we can begin looking at this in terms of how do we either clarify or alter what's going on. And so we're going to start with the cat, and right here we're going to insert just a word. And we're going to say, hey, the word we want is fat. So the fat cat sat on the mat. So what kind of cat is it? Well, it's fat. So this is our adjective. And how do we know? Because it's modifying our noun. Okay. Next, we look at sat. Okay. And this is a location word, so we're not going to worry so much about it. But what we want to do is we want to modify sat. And with adverbs, and this can get confusing, but adverbs can sit here or here in front of a word, whereas adjectives can only sit in front of the noun. So with an adverb, what we're doing is we're at the cat sat, we're going to put it after, but heavily. And you can do it any way you want. It could be tiredly, it could be Wesley, it could be Siley, and not the singer. You get the idea. We're adding the ly on the mat, okay? And if we don't want the cat on the mat, then we could get rid of this, and we could say the cat sat near the mat and still have this. And then finally we've got this final noun, and we can modify it as well. And so the fat cat sat heavily near the mat, and so here we're going to add something, and in this case it could be rough, comma, brown, comma, old mat. Okay? So what we've done is we've taken the simple sentence and we've made it something entirely more, so that now we have the fat cat sat tiredly near the rough brown old mat. Okay? And what that does is in each case we have then modified the various parts of the sentence to create a more specific and identifiable sentence. But we started with the subject verb object, and then we've added additional words in order to further clarify this. What we can do is we can do this as well. So we're going to insert Garfield, the fat cat, sat. Let's see here. We just get rid of this. We're going to keep near the finished lasagna. Okay? So now we've changed the sentence to read the Garfield the fat cat, and this has to be changed to lowercase t, sat near the finished lasagna by ignoring the mat. And so we've just changed the sentence by changing the words and parts of that we're having in place. When you start looking at and thinking about this, what you're looking to do with each of the simple sentences, or any simple sentence, is to begin embellishing it with adjectives and adverbs to change things. Because it could be not the mat, it could be a finished lasagna, it could be all sorts of things, but what we're doing is we're defining what the cat is doing, maybe even who the cat is, characteristics of the cat, and then finally characteristics of any action and characteristics of the object of what's going on. Okay, so by taking Garfield the fat cat sat near the finished lasagna, we can then write out a new sentence, which looks like okay, so then we get Garfield the fat cat sat near the finished lasagna. And what we have in effect done with this is we have created a simple sentence. We've embellished the sentence with adjectives and adverbs. We've put it in there in the right spots, and now we have a very specific cat, and the object where it's near, we got rid of mat and then inserted lasagna, which is perfectly fine to do if that's what you want in the exercises. And so Garfield the fat cat sat near the finished lasagna. So that's taking the cat sat mat exercise and moving it into a slightly more logical use.